I used to dream about showing the world what I dream about. Forget a mic, my whole life I thought it'd be the mount. I guess it's fitting how life threw me the curveball. Pops told me work till you make it, man, then work more. I guess I took that to heart, cause I've been working harder now than I...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another episode of Mom's Basement. As usual, I'm your host, Joe. With me again is Corey, the lovely Corey Diab. We got a lot of sports to talk today. It's been a couple weeks here. We actually recorded an episode that didn't go up because of my own technical difficulties, as that becomes a recurring theme sometimes because technology is smarter than me. But
wait, does that mean that the Luis Robert news never got covered?
That never went up.
Oh shit, I just put that together. Sorry guys, I just found out about that like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, so anyways, make sure you guys are checking out the crossoverreport.com and at Crossover Report on all social medias, looking up all that content every single day. Those guys do a really good job. And now let's talk NBA Finals, because it's time for the greatest player of all time, the GOAT, the man in Cleveland, LeBron James, to do the unthinkable, come back from down 3-0 in the series and get his, count 'em, fourth NBA title.
He'll only have 3. He's not coming back.
Why?
He's playing an all-star team that blew him out in 3 games in the series.
Are we discounting the game that he blew them out?
That he had a lot of help from the referee? Sure, we can talk about
that.
that.
All right, now that you bring up the referee thing right off the jump here, Corey seems to be in on the group that is...
I didn't say that.
That is in a realm of their own where they think the NBA is throwing games to get this to a 7-game series to make more money. Are you kidding me?
I didn't say that. You're taking...
You just said he had a lot of help from the referees. You know who else had help from the referees? If the referees wanted
game... Me saying he's had help from the referees in Game 4 doesn't mean I'm saying that they're going to help the entire series. I think there were some bad calls in Game 4.
I'm going to a Game 4 example here. If the referees in the NBA wanted to impact the game truly, they would have thrown Draymond Green out with a second technical foul. He got a technical foul, and then all of a sudden, the first technical foul that everybody thought was on Draymond, the official scorer had it as Draymond Green. Steve Kerr thought it was Draymond Green. Draymond Green thought it was on him. It all of a sudden goes to Steve Kerr. Keeps Draymond Green in the game. And you cannot tell me, truthfully, the NBA has any involvement in trying to get this to go to a 7-game series.
I'm just saying, I'm thinking the NBA would love if it goes to a 7-game series.
Of course they would. They would love that. Because
if you start seeing some shitty calls in Game 5 and Game 6 against the Warriors, because we know which team is more talented, we know which team should...
We still know which team has the best player on the court, and that's LeBron James.
And we know which team is an all-star team, and that's the Golden State Warriors.
Okay, and now let me tell you what the NBA revenue is, 2016-2017 season. Do you want to take a guess at what their revenue is?
I don't particularly care, but go for it. Tell me.
Take a guess.
I don't care.
Take a guess, Corey. Flatter me. Humor me.
I'm not going to guess.
$8 billion.
There we go. See? I told you. If I wasn't going to guess, he'd tell me eventually.
$8 billion revenue. It's a league not hurting for money. It's a league where the Warriors have the most bandwagon fans. So the fans are going to watch. They're still going to make their money. $8 billion. The NFL only has $13 billion revenue. That's not a huge gap. And if you ask me, there's more NFL fans than there are NBA fans.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What did you say the NFL was?
$13 billion.
And you said that's not a huge gap.
That's only $5 billion.
Only $5 billion.
$5 billion.
Only $5 billion.
That's not a huge gap. And there are definitely more NFL fans than there are NBA fans.
Yeah. The NBA playoffs have been not really watched because you know what these two teams are going to get there in the end anyways. So I'm just saying, I think for TV ratings, I think the NBA wants us to go to 7 games, and
saying they want it to go 7 games and saying the refs are going to make bad calls and helped out LeBron in Game 4.
I didn't say that. I'm saying I think that if you see some controversial calls in Game 5 and Game 6 that just happen to go against the Warriors, people might start to talk. I don't know.
And I've seen a lot of this garbage on Twitter. I'm not from Corey, but I'm just saying.
I think that the Warriors close it out in Game 5.
In general, people before Game 4, people were tweeting that the referees were going to blow this for the Warriors. And that's just people who want the Warriors to win backtracking in case the greatest player to ever live, ever breathe air on planet Earth does a miraculous thing and comes back from 3-0.
Nah.
That's it. I mean, it's just straight backtracking.
So what happens when LeBron loses this series?
Then he loses.
And are you still going with the fact that he's the GOAT?
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
You're saying, all right, now let's fast forward here. 5 years in the future, 6 years in the future, LeBron decides to hang it up.
How many rings does
he
he
has
have?
4 or 5 rings.
If he has 4 or 5, that means he would have to have... If he has 5, he would have had to run through Golden State 2 more times. If he has 4, that means he would have had to run through Golden State again. I said in the last podcast, which unfortunately didn't go up...
Sorry.
That if LeBron managed to beat this team, I'd consider him the greatest player of all time. So, yeah, I would consider LeBron the greatest player of all time. But at the moment, he has half the rings of MJ.
He's still a better player than Michael Jordan.
No.
He does everything better than Michael Jordan.
Basketball is the most individualized sport, and LeBron's been in the NBA Finals how many years in a row?
7, 8, 7.
And he has 3 rings to show for it.
He's also played 26 Hall of Famers, compared to MJ playing 9. Huge gap there.
Good for LeBron.
If you're facing more Hall of Fame talent, you're obviously going to have a harder time winning rings.
I mean...
Yes. I don't think you can dispute that.
I still think that if you think that LeBron is this transcendent greatest player of all time, which you do, I don't. I think he's the best player in the league right now. I think he's the second best player of all time. I think that if he's this above and beyond talent, we talked about, again, the podcast that got lost, that the gap between him, number 1, and whoever the number 2 player in the league is, you said Kawhi Leonard, I don't know who I would take, is that massive, then there should be no excuse for him not to win a ring every year.
And going off of that, yesterday at work, this is a little bit off topic, but I know you'll agree with me on this, at least, because yesterday at work, I got people in my ear. I'm trying to stock the shelves. It's busy. It's a Saturday. Liquor's flying off the shelves like crazy. And here I am in the vodka aisle. I got one guy over here, and I got one guy over here telling me, I'd rather have Chris Paul on my team than LeBron James.
That's fucking stupid.
Thank you. That goes out to Stu Gotts Entertainment, who said he thinks Chris Paul's a better player than LeBron James.
No, that's fucking stupid.
The gap between LeBron and the next best player in the league is huge, and Kevin Durant is not a better player than LeBron James. Kevin Durant's the best scorer, maybe, in the league. Definitely not the best player. I mean, LeBron is far and away the best player on the planet. For anyone to say otherwise...
No, that's stupid.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if it was trolling. They looked pretty serious to me. So for them to, I won't mention the other guy's name, but Stu Gotts Entertainment, get your mind right. Chris Paul, stop it. A little bit off topic there. But
I mean, the thing you have to keep in mind is, as well, we talked about LeBron always had the reputation earlier in his career of not being able to close. He still is losing more finals than he is winning. If he is this transcendent player, he should be winning more finals than he's losing. Certainly, I mean, Jordan never lost finals. We could talk about that.
Yeah.
We could talk about how Jordan went to college and spent 2 years playing baseball. That took away from his career scoring and everything else that he could do. That's perfectly fine. But you could say, I think naturally as a basketball player, Jordan is better. Jordan probably wins 8 championships in a row in the 90s if he doesn't take 2 years off to go play baseball for whatever stupid fucking reason.
That was the dumbest thing
Yeah,
ever.
that we would have seen 8 in a row and nobody would have had any doubt on who the best player is. But he has 6. LeBron has 3. LeBron's been in the league longer. I think LeBron's body type is better. I think he might be I don't want to say he's a better pure athlete. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think LeBron can do more things, but I think MJ just does what MJ did better. And I'll leave it at that.
You said a lot of words right there.
You have 2 ears, you can listen.
A lot of words. I think LeBron is a much better athlete. I think LeBron is a better defender, a better playmaker. He shoots a better percentage. I just think by the time he's done, you're going to agree with me in saying
I told you again in the Lost podcast, if he runs through Golden State, if he comes back and wins this series, I'll say he's the best player ever.
And I cannot wait. The Warriors fans, I'll put quotes around it, if he wins Game 5, they're going to start sweating. If he wins Game 6,
well, they'll be sweating.
it's going to be, this is happening again. And come Game 7 next Sunday, if there is a Game 7 on my 22nd birthday, we are going to come at you live.
Yeah, apparently that's what we're
Live.
doing. Apparently that's what we're doing.
I'll figure out a way to get it done. We're going to work it out because I cannot wait. If this happens, I'm going to be losing my mind on Twitter. And I'm not even a Cavaliers fan. Like, I could care less about the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I'm not a Golden State fan. I just,
right.
I
just hate the disrespect that LeBron gets.
And I don't think saying he's the second best player of all time and the best player in the NBA is disrespect.
No, not so much you. I'm talking about people on Twitter more so.
If anything, I think that you might be selling Jordan short.
Well, I think the thing with the place that we live in the suburbs of Chicago, people who are older than us, 30, who have seen both, are just so one track. Nobody can ever be better than Michael Jordan. One track pony, whatever that phrase is. Because they're one trick pony.
Yeah.
Because they're from here, so they're like, no, he can't be better. No one's better than Michael Jordan. No one ever will be. And I just think that's stupid.
There's a lot of things.
That's lazy.
There's a lot of things that go into that. I mean, MJ's from Chicago. We live in Chicago. All that good stuff. But also, LeBron turned down the Bulls in 2010 summer free agency. He built a super team. Jordan didn't have to build a super team.
Well, there were no super teams in the 90s. It's worked differently. There wasn't money to throw around at three superstars. Basically, the superstars of the NBA stayed where they were. So
the Bulls just had the Bulls for credit in the 90s. They did have a really good front office.
Yes.
They had Phil Jackson as head coach. I mean, they acquired Scottie Pippen, and obviously that helped them win 6 championships. And when MJ's time was winding down, they almost got Tracy McGrady too. Just as a side note there. So they were the premier team of the 90s, and I truly believe they would have won 8 championships had Jordan not decided to go play baseball for some fucking reason. But you can't, if you're a basketball fan, if you watch basketball, you can't say that LeBron's not the best player in the game right now. And he was, and will be for his entire career the best player in the NBA until he retires. I just don't think he's the best player ever, and I don't think that's an insult.
Cavs in 7. LeBron's going to continue to average a triple-double. Kyrie's the X factor. He needs to come out jersey untucked, ready to score 40 every game. He's the X factor only because you know what you're going to get from LeBron. Clearly, you're going to get 28, 29 with a 10 and 11 every night. He's going to play. I mean, he should play every single minute.
Yeah, if Kyrie plays below what is needed from Kyrie or what is expected from Kyrie, they lose. Because you know what you're getting from LeBron. You know what you're getting from Durant, which is 35 a game. You know what you're getting from Steph Curry. If Kyrie can't match that output that Steph Curry creates, they're not going to win. So you're not relying on LeBron, you're relying on Kyrie. Which is why I still lean towards the Warriors, because I trust any player on the Warriors, any of their big three or their starting lineup to do their jobs more than I trust Kyrie putting up 40 a game.
You know what the crazy thing is about Kyrie is he's getting better.
Oh yeah,
he's got the best handle in the league. He makes really tough shots.
Yeah, he's a great scorer.
Yeah.
He's got great handles. He just plays shit defense.
Yeah, which he's got to step up. Kyrie's gonna be a huge part of this comeback as the greatest. I swear, Corey, you don't know how off I will go on people if they do this. If they pull off this comeback,
okay. And you won't shut your mouth if they lose.
Well, I'll probably. You're right. I probably won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna be talking either way.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mom's Basement here. Make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube and iTunes as we shift towards baseball here. The Northsiders, the Cubs, the beloved Cubs,
are a 500 baseball team.
They are a 500 team through
60 games. 62 games.
A game and a half out.
You can't just say that this is like a momentary thing. This is 62 games.
Well, my thing is it's no longer early.
It makes me smile.
It's no longer early, Corey.
I'm not going to lie. I shouldn't give a shit about the Cubs do, but it makes me smile just a little bit.
But there's still a lot of baseball left, and I trust Theo.
I want to ask you a question. You may trust Theo, but do you trust Joe Madden?
I do. I do have problems with how things have gone.
Joe Madden, I don't know if you've noticed it this season, especially after winning last season, he's an ego fucking maniac. Have you noticed they took a break from Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot. They put him back there today, or was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, and good for him. He hit a bomb today. great for Kyle Schwarber. We all know he can hit a home run, but he's still hitting 168, 165, 170, wherever the hell he's at.
Well, yesterday the wind was blowing out like crazy, and he wanted the lefty-righty matchup. And what he does with like the pitcher, so if he wants the pitcher to go deep into the game, essentially like 5, 6, 7 innings, he hits him ninth. If he doesn't think he's going to get that out of a pitcher, I'll hit him eighth in case for the early pinch hitter or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So he batted Butler ninth because he needed innings out of Butler because the bullpen had been taxed the previous day, and the wind was blowing out like crazy. And he loves the left right. So it made sense for him to put Schwarber back in the leadoff spot because that's just how he does his lineup. So I don't think there's really any for that reason, I don't think there's anything egotistical there. He was just doing what he needed to do.
I think he is an egomaniac.
I mean, it's kind of hard to not okay, look at what I do. Look how well it worked last year, and then we won a title.
But
I get it.
No, I don't get it because Theo. I do agree with you that Theo Epstein is the best executive in sports, and he puts together this phenomenally talented team. But it doesn't take. It kind of, sort of, for the most part, runs itself.
Yeah.
Joe Madden's not that important. Joe Madden shouldn't be trying to fix what's broken.
And the thing with me, the one problem I have, the glaring issue is you need a consistent lineup. So I need to see basically the same 7 guys in the lineup each and every day because you need to find a rhythm. If you want to get hot and you want everyone to kind of work as a cohesive unit.
And that's probably not going to happen until July.
Correct.
Until they start selling pieces to trade.
Yeah, so I mean, you need that same lineup, and the catcher position is probably the only one that's really going to change because Contreras and Montero are still going to both get because for some godforsaken reason, the Cubs brought back the worst catcher in the sport, Miguel Montero, actually the second worst catcher in the sport because Giovanni Soto is garbage, the second worst catcher in the sport. Miguel Montero had a ridiculous salary. He's slow, he's out of shape, he's old, his arm is worse than a toddler's, and yet he still finds a way behind the plate when Jake Arrieta is pitching. I don't understand it, but he's going to play.
He's not even making Jake Arrieta better. I mean, Jake Arrieta's had an up and down.
I don't understand how, if you're Jake Arrieta, why do you want Miguel Montero? Wilson Contreras has a freaking cannon, and he is way more athletic behind the plate, and his bat's better.
Only thing I would say is pitch framing, but I don't think Jake Arrieta has room to say anything.
I need a pitch framer? Yeah, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He had a really good year. What was it, 2015? 2016, he was still good. This year, he's not been as good. And he's looking to make $200 million. He's already looking to this offseason. I mean,
which is scary.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he shouldn't have say in who catches him. He's not John Lester and David Ross. He's not a knuckleballer where he needs a special catcher.
Yep.
He just needs to shut the fuck up, pitch better, and try to help the 2017 Chicago Cubs.
And as bad as he's been, he's still leading the team in wins and strikeouts. So that's telling for the Cubs pitching staff thus far. I mean, yeah, the lineup needs to be consistent, and like I said, you need to get the rhythm going. You need these guys to all get hot, and really they need to hit with runners in scoring position. They are last in the league. Runners in scoring position, and that was their calling card last year.
I told you before the season started. I know he's not playing well in St. Louis, but the loss of Dexter Fowler was going to be big.
I don't see it. I mean, he's hitting 230 in St. Louis.
Yeah, and I think that he would still be. You can't look at 230 and say that, that's the end all be all. He's a bad baseball player.
He's not a bad baseball player.
You have to look at other things.
I just don't think they're.
But
really
even if you say, "Oh my God, he's
much.
hitting 230," he's still hitting 60 to 70 points higher than Kyle Schwarber.
Sure, but is he making St. Louis that much better?
No one said St. Louis doesn't have the bats behind.
I understand, but I mean, he's not doing the job. He's not a 230 hitter. He should be playing better. So to say the Cubs are missing him, I'm not seeing that. I think they're just missing chemistry, right? Like last year when they're in their prime,
their run differential right now is like +1, +2. I mean, they had a record run differential with him as their leadoff hitter,
and he had a way better season last year than he is having this year.
Okay, but that's a product of a lot of things.
It's +2, by the way, run differential.
Yeah, because they won by 2 today, right?
Sick, yeah.
Because they were +0 yesterday, so they had a record run differential the year they won the World Series, 2016, and you have to. Dexter Fowler was a massive part of that. You can't just say,
and that was last year.
You can't just say, "Oh, he's hitting 230." He wouldn't be he wouldn't be good in this lineup. or anything like that. I think they miss him. I do.
I don't see it. I don't see how they're missing him. I just think like
the
massive
drop-off in run production is why they miss him.
Last year, you look at this team, they're out there every day. It looks like they're just enjoying the game. They're having fun. Everything was going their way. But now this year, it kind of looks the opposite. Nothing's going their way. They're a 500 team. They don't look like they're having any fun.
Kyle Schwarber's a platoon hitter.
Then you got the Addison Russell stuff that comes out.
Oh, yeah. Addison Russell, this classy organization.
So obviously, he's under investigation from Major League Baseball with, domestic abuse allegations.
Yo, Joey, would you like to weigh in on this domestic abuse stuff? Because you were pretty opposed to Patrick Kane.
We're not going to bring up the because I don't remember it. I don't.
I think that there might be a little hypocrisy.
I don't remember the Patrick Kane. Whatever.
You did assume him guilty.
I don't remember doing that, so I'm not going to say I did.
Oh, you're full of shit.
I just don't remember that. So he's under investigation. Why are you laughing?
Because you're a fraud. But we continue.
So he's under investigation for domestic abuse allegations. Essentially, this was the thing that shocked everybody in the Cubs organization. They all knew that he was having affairs. He told his teammates that his wife caught him cheating last week. So
first of all, his wife is a bombshell.
His ex-wife is. Yeah,
oh my goodness!
So I don't know what he's doing.
Why?
23-year-old kid makes. I can't even say it's a mistake because.
Okay, if he's hitting her, that's a mistake.
No. I'm talking about the affairs. He had 5 affairs.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's not a mistake. That's a choice at that point. I just.
So what happens? What happens if it comes out that he has been hitting her? What do you want them to do with him?
Well, I mean, he's going to get suspended.
Okay, and then
he's going to serve a suspension and be back in the lineup. That's just how this works. Aroldis Chapman served 30 games.
You still want him on your team?
Yeah. If he's winning games, no one's going to care.
He's also been hitting until today. He's been kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, if he plays better, no one's going to care. I don't know what I said. I think I said some wrong words before that. But if he's in the lineup producing and helping them win games, nobody is going to care. They traded for Aroldis Chapman. He helps them win a World Series. Nobody cares. Yuri's familiar.
Oh, people care. Hold on. People care.
No, I'm saying Cub fans. Cub fans do not care.
Well, yeah.
People are not going to care.
That's the thing. That's the crazy thing, too. The same people who are crucifying Patrick Kane are celebrating Aroldis Chapman. I mean, David Kaplan, #1, that fucking dickhead.
Sports are a business. Baseball's a business. It's just how it works. So, I mean, if he's proven guilty, he's going to serve suspension. And
maybe jail time.
Yeah, and he'll be back in the lineup eventually. I mean, that's just how it works. Last thing here on Addison Russell, also spoiler alert, I don't know if you could see it in the frame, but my dog has joined us. Say hi, Rams. Okay, she's not interested. Anyway, today, this is essentially how this works. Addison Russell hit a home run today. The crowd cheered. That's all you need to know, essentially, about the situation. He hit a home run.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
That very well may be true. Hit a home run. They cheered loudly. They obviously couldn't care less about the investigation. As long as he's on the field, doing what he does best. Corey, this one's for you now.
Okay.
Draft coming up tomorrow, Monday, June 12th. Who should the Cubs be looking at 27 and 30 in the first round?
Well, I've listened to basically every interview that Jim Callis from MLBpipeline.com has done on all Chicago sports networks. He's linking them to a bunch of high school or college pitchers and not really many position players because, the Cubs kind of are
set.
Yeah, they're kind of set at position players for the next 5 years at least. So the highest guys he has them going, just based off of his pipeline top 200, is Sam Carlson, a right-hander from a high school right-hander, and he's ranked 15th overall. Whereas, if you go further down the board, you have other guys like Seth Romero, a college lefty. You have who else did we have here? The only position player they've been linked to is Nick Allen, who is a defense first high school shortstop. And these guys are just it's really hard to project the Cubs because they're at the end of the first round. I mean, there's you kind of got to see just who falls to them, because even right now the Cubs don't know who they're picking because they're at the end of the first round. You got to kind of just see how it falls. They're probably not going to get star talent there. It's just how drafts work. But at the same time, they need to sort of replenish their farm in the sense that they have 2 pitching prospects that are worth any sort of salt right now in Dylan Cease and De La Cruz, so they need to sort of add to that and worry less about the position player aspect of it.
Yeah, this BaseballAmerica.com mock draft 4.0, so the last mock draft they're going to do has them taking a catcher at 27. Basically, I'm okay with whatever they do as long as it's 2 pitchers in the first round. Am I wrong to say that?
I mean, again, it really just depends on how the draft falls. If somebody falls for signability issues, which is a thing. I mean, with the baseball draft,
the way it's weird how this works.
Yeah, the baseball draft basically. First of all, draft picks can't be traded, which is stupid.
Sad.
Secondly, each team picking, no matter where they pick, has a certain pool of money that they can spend on their entire draft class, and each slot, whether you pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or beyond, is worth a certain amount of money. So if you can't afford the value at your slot, or you don't want to pay that, you can draft a player of lower value and pay them less money because they're not worth that spot, and save money for the rest of the draft. Or you can spend all your money basically on your top pick and just sort of fill in as the draft goes on. So that could cause some higher value players, top 10 players, to fall, and that pushes top 15 players into the top 20 to top 25, and the top 25 players go down to the 30s, and that's where the Cubs could conceivably grab somebody of higher value. I know at pick number 4 and pick number 5, the Tampa Bay Rays and the Atlanta Braves are talking about cutting these type of deals where you pay less money for a lesser talent, so you have more money in your pool to draft a more talented player later on, and that pushes talent down, and that's how I hope it happens, so the White Sox can have more talent at 11.
Yeah, we'll talk about the White Sox here in a second, but yeah, as long as they're drafting 2 pitchers who they really like and think they can develop into major league arms, I'm cool with whatever they do, because clearly, as we see this year through 62 games, the Cubs need desperate help pitching on the major league level and throughout the system, because like we said, Dylan Cease, Oscar De La Cruz, really the only 2 arms in the system that are popping out at you as worth with any value. So they got work to do with the draft tomorrow night. I got full confidence in Theo Jed and that group to get it done. Mom's Basement here, YouTube and iTunes. Make sure you guys subscribe to us, checking us out every week when we bring you our sports podcast. Let's move to the south side of the city. The Chicago White Sox. Corey, they have finally regressed. They are finally the worst team in the American League. And now it's time for them to kind of get ready for the draft tomorrow and also begin to look towards selling off some of these pieces.
Yeah, so tomorrow is the draft, and it's big for 2 reasons. Because, A, you obviously get to see who your team picks for the future to sort of, redefine the White Sox prospect base, which already has 7 prospects in the pipeline top 100. But it also officially starts trade deadline season. So teams, another important thing to look at too with the teams picking tomorrow is the teams that are rumored to be in the hunt for Jose Quintana and David Robertson at the deadline, who have these bats that they're looking to deal in prospect-wise. You look at who they draft and see, is this player that they drafted a replacement for the top prospect that the White Sox want? Because if they do that, then they're more inclined to trade their top prospect in order to acquire a David Robertson or a Jose Quintana. So teams like the Yankees and the Nationals and the Astros, you look to see, are they drafting an outfielder in the first round? Are they drafting, a position player who can sort of just fill the role in of this prospect that's going to end up being traded anyway to a team that's selling, like the White Sox or another team that's selling? So, the White Sox right now on pace for a 69-93 record, which
nice.
is what, nice, which is what I predicted at the start of the season. So they're doing great. They're the worst team in the American League. They currently have the 4th pick in the 2018 draft in the Seth Beer sweepstakes.
Beer me.
Yep, tank for beer. And so
I don't know how they're behind Kansas City. Kansas City has a run differential from -47.
Yeah, Kansas City got blown out quite a few times. But, the White Sox are, what's their run differential?
-9.
Yeah, -9. That's okay. That's perfect.
And they're terrible on the road.
That's perfectly fine by me. Yeah, see, that's one trend I'm worried about as far as the White Sox winning is they have played most of their games on the road, so they're going to have a ton of home games. in the second half of the season, which, if you're the home team, you tend to win more games than you lose. But hopefully Jose Quintana's gone by then, and David Robertson's gone, and Melky and Frazier and all of them are gone, so that the tanking can progress to where the White Sox have a top 5 pick. As far as the draft goes, the White Sox have been heavily connected to Vanderbilt center fielder Jaron Kendall, who is ranked number 6 on the MLB Pipeline Top 200. I'm personally not the biggest fan of him because of the White Sox history with developing these toolsy guys with high strikeout rates. Jaron Kendall's strikeout rate is around 26%, which at the college level is not very promising for a pro career, but he has good power. He's an excellent defender in center field. He's incredibly fast, a good base stealer. Part of me just really doesn't want him to fall to 11 because of just the contact rate. I mean, my dream pick for the White Sox right now is Austin Beck, the high school outfielder, who as a prospect has been compared to Mike Trout as a prospect. He had a hamstring injury, which is why he fell off a lot of people's radars, and now he's back in the top 10. So I'm hoping these teams like the Rays and the Braves, who cut deals for lesser talent, pushes a guy like Austin Beck down to 11. That would be very ideal for the White Sox.
And it's very likely that something like that could happen because those smaller market teams are always looking for a way to save a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very likely that a team like the Rays could say, you know what, we don't really want to spend all this money to try and sign him. We'll go with somebody else. So, yeah, I think it's likely. So you're saying your dream pick is Austin Beck. Wouldn't your dream pick be Hunter Green? Somehow, some way falls to 11.
Hunter Green's not falling past 2.
I agree, but if you had a dream pick,
okay, but
you're most likely.
First of all, I don't think Hunter Green is the best pitcher in this draft.
Really?
I don't. I like Mackenzie Gore a lot better than I do Hunter Green. But regardless, the way this draft is aligned, you have the top 5 is pretty much set. In some order, it's going to be Hunter Green, Brendan McKay, Kyle Wright, Mackenzie Gore, and Royce Lewis. Then beyond that, you have the Athletics at 6. Well, I guess at 5, if the Braves cut a deal, that can force some talent down, one of those top 5 guys down. But you look at these small market teams, you look at the Braves, you look at the Rays, you look at the Athletics, who are looking to take, guys who are very likely to sign for less. And those are usually, your college hitters, like your Pavin Smith here, or your J.B. Bukowskis, who are college guys. They don't have, the option like a high schooler does to say, no, I'm not going to go pro, I'm going to go to college. Adam Hazley's another example of a guy who is a safer pick, who probably signs for less to be a top 10 pick. That pushes more talent down, and I'm hoping that this is the year the White Sox take a chance on a high school outfielder. They haven't since, I think, Courtney Hawkins back in 2012, but Austin Beck is a much more...
Let us know if you've heard that name before, White Sox fans.
Yeah, he's currently at low A.
And he was drafted 5 years ago.
Yeah, so he's probably closer to 30 right now than he is to make it to the big leagues. But, so Austin Beck is my dream at 9, and, I've seen him mocked anywhere between 5 and 16, 16 being the Yankees as his, how his floor is, how far he falls, but, we'll see. This is another big step for the White Sox. They had a good draft last year. They need a good draft this year, and just keep churning the young guys through so that by 2020 they could be a contender.
Yeah, I think finally the time has come where they have finally kind of fallen to where they should be, and that's sitting at the bottom of the AL Central, 26 and 35. And hopefully, if you're a White Sox fan, you want to continue to see losses.
Yeah, I actually get pissed off when they win unless it's a Jose Quintana start.
Right.
I want them... They don't score any runs for Jose Quintana, which is such bullshit. They'll score, 5 runs for fucking David Holmberg or whatever, who's never making a spot start, but they won't score. Jose Quintana's getting less than 2 runs of support a game. That's not going to get any wins whatsoever. It's partially why his record is 2-8. But regardless, tomorrow's a big day.
Huge day. Grab your popcorn.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching online because I don't have MLB TV anymore.
I'll be at work, so I won't be watching.
Yeah, but
unfortunate.
Then after tomorrow, you'll get all of the the trade proposals and all the.
This is where it starts.
Yeah,
this is where the market's going to set itself out. You'll see buyers, you'll see sellers. The draft is done. So now you get all these packages, possibilities. He can go here, he can go there. This is where baseball is going to start to get really, really fun. Hopefully the Cubs can get themselves further away from the 500 mark. Hopefully the White Sox can continue to lose. Hopefully we will be back with another podcast next weekend. I think that's all we got for you guys today. Mom's Basement. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes and on YouTube. Like and comment on the videos on YouTube. It really helps the channel grow. We're hopefully going to be more consistent here as we continue through the summer. Well, part of that's my fault. The technicality, the technical stuff, whatever. But thank you guys so much for watching. For Corey, I'm Joe. This is Mom's Basement. We will see you guys next time. Say bye, Rams.
Even longer weekend, so put it on me. Girl, fuck me like you mean it. It's been a long week, and even longer weekend. I think we both know what we need. Yeah, we both know what we need. Yeah.
She's not joking.
I've been down, I know. I've been down, been up, been there, been scared before. I've been down, I know. I've been down, been up, been there, been scared before. I know you think about me when